Hey guys, Mike for SimRacing604 and welcome to somewhat of a special video. I'm not sure I've ever done anything like this before, but Automobilista 2 just dropped something I feel is too cool to not share with you. I tend to not talk too much about my favorites in F1 because, as we all know, the F1 fan community has the potential to be extremely toxic and defensive, but I'll break decorum here and tell you that Ayrton Senna, to me, is the greatest F1 driver ever. When he was focused and motivated, he seemed untouchable. His opening lap at Donington in '93, or the way he drove his Toleman at Monaco, or limping his car home to victory in Brazil, are achievements that, to me, elevate him to the top ranks of those to ever compete in F1. And there's a new DLC for AMS2 that honors this man. It's called, appropriately, the Brazilian Legends DLC, and among the 6 cars included are 4 Formula 1 cars raced by Senna, which will be my focus for this video. I'll give you a brief overview of each, then I'll take to the track to showcase them. So we'll start with the Lotus 98T. This was raced by Senna and Johnny Dumfries in 1986. It had moderate success, helping the driver pair earn 8 podiums, including 2 wins, and ultimately placing the Lotus team 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. There's at least 2 reasons why this car is special. First, its iconic styling was the last time the world saw the black and gold John Player livery for Lotus. And second, the power. The power of this era of F1 car was possibly the maximum output in the history of Formula 1. At peak turbo, which was reported to be about 5 bar of pressure, the V6 engine was likely outputting 1200 horsepower or more. And while it's unlikely that the peak power output was ever used, even in qualifying, to know that the slightly toned down output that Senna had access to was still possibly cracking 4 figures of horsepower without the modern electronic systems is mind-blowing. You can find clips of Ayrton driving this car at its limit and see the rear tires breaking traction almost constantly, even in a straight line. So let's see what Reza Studios has done with the car. Alright, so here we are in the Lotus 98T here at Montreal, and I kind of chuckling to myself because I've done myself a disservice by turning the turbo up to 100%. Yes, it's a silly configuration. This would have never been a part of this car's setup. It comes in close to 1300 horsepower with 100% turbo, and that's exactly what it's configured as now. 1280 horsepower is the exact figure. And it's such a silly configuration. You're fighting for your life, even at 50% in this car, but 100% is just something that is not advised. But I want to see what this car can truly do in a simulator. I don't have to worry about repair costs, of course. If it blows up, it blows up. If I go shooting through a chicane, which I'm sure I will at some point, I don't have to pay for the lawn repair. I don't make the evening sports highlights for a misstep like that, so I'm going to do it. But you can see and probably hear that at 100% turbo, 2nd and 3rd gear lights up the rear tires, which of course makes things very tricky on corner exit, like here. At no point am I going to 100% turbo, 100% accelerator travel until I am in 4th gear. Maybe 3rd on occasion. But honestly, you have to really watch yourself. There you go. That was 3rd gear there. And because I introduced a bit of steering, rear traction broke. See, there's a bit of understeer, which surprises me about this car, because as if the oversteer on throttle wasn't enough to kill you, mid-corner understeer is introduced, just to make sure you don't get bored, you see. You can hear it there, and you see it through that chicane. Lock up there. Wasn't my nicest downshifting. Just a huge amount of power. It's so unreal that this was a possibility. Again, this was never implemented to my knowledge. 100% turbo, that is. But just knowing that maybe due to human error, maybe due to a theory that you could be a little bit faster on a quality lap, you had the potential to unlock this in a real car. I mean, just unreal. Absolutely unbelievable that this thing exists and competed. That last lap, if you're wondering, 124, very high 124 at 970, I believe. So again, hoping for the 23s once I sort of get things dialed in here. Still trying to get used to this 100% configuration. Consistency is a serious problem for me in this car. Come on. You see how absolutely ginger I have to take it. Understeer. Woo. Whoa. That was a horrendous gear change, so I'm going to be down on time on this lap. We'll see what we could do on this lap. As I say, consistency is a problem. That was just a bad gear change, but you can see how wildly varied the lap times are. And too early on the brakes there. I think everything is nicely up to temp, so I think I probably have more brake power than I had initially. Come on, girl, get around there, get around there. And just a terrifying concept of a car. So we'll do one, maybe two more laps here in this 98T. But in my mind, Reza has done a spectacular job with this car. I compare it, of course, to Assetto Corsa. And although the tire feel rather, come on, Mike, get the gear change. There we go. The tire feel definitely has a massive advantage in Assetto Corsa in my mind. I do also think that Reza has done an excellent job capturing the overall feel of the car in terms of it being just an absolutely frightening machine. Birds out to watch me crash. Whoa! I don't know how I held on to that, but you see what can happen even in third gear. I think that front right tire is not doing me any favors. I'm losing so much grip from that tire. I think I'm going to have to wrap things up pretty soon here. And I can feel it. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. I don't have headphones on. Whoa! But there's a chatter in the wheel now. When I'm under acceleration, which I'm guessing is due to traction loss. So not my best lap, but was still, oh, actually was it? 122? Pretty remarkable. Oh no, 122 is the potential. I didn't didn't see what that last lap was, but I don't think I'm down into the 123s. Yeah, I'm just losing time, so much time. I gotta wrap things up here, but we'll cross the finish line one more time here. See if I can at least get into the 123s. But yeah, really nice car. It's too much for me, if I'm honest. I can barely hold on to this thing. But those with real driving skill will have, you know, a good time with this one. It's a very challenging car and such a piece of history. I'm gonna keep fifth through this chicane here. Rely on that turbo. Oh, I'm so close to a 123, but that gives me goals for the future. That was or 122 rather. So yeah, just what a car, so much fun. And now let's go on to the next. And next up, the McLaren MP4, perhaps the most dominant car to ever compete in F1, one driven by an almost unbelievable driver pairing. In 1988, this car won 15 of 16 races and amassed 199 points, with second place Ferrari only claiming 65. In 10 of the races that season, the McLaren pair claimed first and second place. I mentioned earlier that the driver pairing seems unbelievable in retrospect. And Senna's biggest rival in '88 was also his teammate, Alain Prost. By the end of their careers, Senna and Prost would earn 41 and 51 wins, respectively, which even to this day puts both in the top 5 all-time for wins. The concept of two all-time greats at their peak on one team in the best car is staggering to think about. The car is powered by a turbocharged V6 like the 98T, but in a far more reliable and comparatively tame manner. The Honda engine came in somewhere around 700 horsepower, but likely competed closer to 600, which in combination with the 6-speed H-pattern transmission was enough to solidify its place in history at the hands of two legends. Time to take to the track in one of my all-time favorite cars. Alright, here we are. Arguably the GOAT F1 car, the MP4. We're here at Cascades, the 1988 layout. This is part of a new DLC pack for AMS2, so good chance for me to showcase that as well. So much like the 98T, I'll take my time here, get some heat into the tires and brakes, some consistent heat rather. Get a feel for the car. Done some installation laps here with moderate success. But let's face it, with my driving skill, moderate success is pretty much the best I could hope for. And this fast right-hander here, you can see in the 1988 layout, it's got a higher curb. So you can't take it quite as easily as you can in the new layout. So obviously a less peaky engine, than that 98T. But please don't take that as a complaint, because that 98T nearly killed me. It's so tough to drive. This MP4 seems a lot more tame by comparison. Alright, so here we go with a timed lap. You can see that boost gauge digitally on the right side of the dash there. 6 gears instead of 5 as we had in the 98T. Not my smoothest downshift, but we got it done. This thing's kind of finicky is what I found when going into first gear, so I'm gonna keep second wherever I can. there by the rear tires, and then a lot of movement. This I find to be one of the toughest corners, not only on the circuit, but one of the toughest to judge of any circuit I commonly drive. That wasn't great either. But yeah, that right-hander feels like it should be faster than it actually is. Lap time, showing potential of 125.7. That was a 126.3. Woo! And that engine note is very distinct. You don't hear much that sounds like that, that's for sure. I mean, of course, every F1 car is somewhat distinct, but this one is very pronounced. Woo! Come on, Mike. Hold on to her. And this right-hander is what I was talking about in terms of judging speed. I find it very difficult. What a course, though. I love Cascades in any configuration. Cool to have the vintage layout, although it is almost identical to the modern layout without that extra chicane. That was a 125 dead. Definitely have a 124 in it. I can't seem to get my gear changing down today. This lap is off to a horrendous start. See if we can salvage something here, push a little bit. Miraculously, I am uptime. Come on, Mike, hold on to it. Ooh, that was close. Okay, here we go. One last corner. Can I get into the 123s? Or 124s, sorry. So we can keep this cleaner through Sector 1. That was definitely cleaner. Can I hold on to it? Yes, only barely. I thought I had too much speed there. Ooh, and I'm downtime? What? Oh boy. This thing, it's not the 98T, that's for sure, but it definitely has a lot of character and a lot of potential to put you out. Let's see if we can go one more here. Possibly set a fastest lap. I'm surprised I'm down. This one felt cleaner than the previous. But not clean enough, obviously. There we go. 123.893. But overall, MP4 feelings, I love it. I think it's one of my favorite open wheel cars in this title, frankly. Feels tremendous. I'm glad. There's a lot of, obviously, pressure to deliver when you take on recreating a car like this. So much history, obviously, you know, heavy South American, Brazilian influence in the title. Reza knew what this task was, to recreate one of the greatest racing cars ever, which happened to be driven by an absolute national hero in Brazil. But they did a great job with it, unlike my corner. Come on. Oh, that was a terrible lap. I know I said there would only be one more, but I can't resist. I'm loving this car. Now that I've sort of got a feel for it and its kind of personality / characteristics, I'm really loving this car. Not loving that understeer too much, but whatever. Woo. Like I will get a personal best, so that seems like a good time to end the video, or in this section rather. Hold on to it, Mike. Kinda gotta trust the downforce with this car is what I'm learning. .123.1, I think that's good enough for me. But yeah, what a car. I didn't think it would be this good, honestly. This is a car the sim racing world has been waiting for a long time. And now we get to look at the McLaren MP4 5B from 1990. This car came to F1 in the midst of McLaren's dynasty. The dream pairing of Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost had been dominating the rest of the F1 field for multiple years, but that team was split up entering 1990. Prost left for Ferrari and Senna was paired with Gerhard Berger, who stepped in to help claim another Constructors' Championship for the team, and they did just that. The MP4 5B wasn't as dominant as the MP4 from 2 years prior, but it was still good enough to earn McLaren their championship and Senna his second driver's title. A naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V10 engine was housed in the 5B, which likely put out just over 700 horsepower. I'm expecting this to be less peaky and maybe more enjoyable overall to drive, so let's test. MP4 5B time now, here at Classic Silverstone. Yes, this is the 1991 layout of Silverstone, and this car is from 1990, I get it. Well, let's just have some fun, shall we? Speeding through a pit lane, because I can't wait to get this MP4 5B on track for you guys. So, like the two previous cars, I have done installation laps in this MP4 5B, and the initial impressions, well, it's a lot more tame than the previous two, and I think that's a good thing. The engine is nowhere near as peaky as that as the 98T rather. So you can relax a little bit, be a little bit more lenient, a little bit more relaxed with your throttle application. But with that said, it still suffers from that understeer. I don't know what's going on with these cars, whether it's just my driving style or what, but it just seems like these cars are prone to understeer far more than I would expect. Could just be the actual physics of the car, though. I don't know. So here at Classic Silverstone, I'm hoping to be running kind of in the low 131s, maybe break into the 130 if I can ever get the understeer fixed in this car. There you go. We'll see if that understeer improves as time goes on. I guess I wasn't really paying attention in the previous cars to whether it got better with heat in the tires. Woo! And these curbs at Classic Silverstone are much more punishing than what you might be used to at the modern layout of Silverstone. But yeah, I can get full power down in this car and its naturally aspirated engine way sooner than I could in the 98T or MP4. Ooh, man, a whole lot happened with the transmission there, and nothing good, unfortunately. I keep missing shifts with this SHH shifter. Hopefully I can improve upon that. Yeah, maybe that understeer is getting a little bit better. You can still hear it. It's just not nearly as bad when the tires are warm. Come on, Mike, wake up. That was just a lazy shift. I didn't even want to shift. I just had my hand on the stick and then accidentally kicked it into neutral. Oops. Mowing the lawn for free. You're welcome, Silverstone. And up slightly on my previous best in the installation lap, so this should be on pace for a 1 minute 30, high 1 minute 30. Come on, let's go, let's go. You notice the elevation changes a lot more here at Classic Silverstone. You can see the road just kind of disappearing under that Foster's Lager logo. Oh yeah, definitely improving. Now that I have proper heat in the front tires, far less understeer. There we go, 1 minute 31.3 with a potential of 1 minute 30.5. So I can put this all together. Good things will happen, and I will be able to change the third digit on my best lap time, but we'll see what happens. Maybe if I don't run over the grass. Maybe if I can control that understeer. Whoa! I was gonna say much smoother through there, and then that happened. Come on, let's go, Mike. Let's get it around there clean if we can. Whoops. A little choppy. This will definitely be a 130 and change. I was so excited about my 130 that I messed up all my gear changes. Frustrating. So that's obviously not the car, that's all me. So don't take this as the cars are difficult to shift or anything like that. Just my brain is difficult to shift into intelligent mode. Alright, so this ugly lap cannot be our last in this classic and amazing vehicle. So I'm gonna go finish this one, then go one more, try hard for a personal best rather. To beat my previous best is what I should have said. And if I ever get this shifting right, I will be able to do slightly less mediocre things, perhaps. Alright, take it easy on the tires. I want to keep heating them, but don't want to scrub out any more tread, or life, I should say. Alright, here we go. Clean shifts, Mike. Clean shifts. Let's go. Well, that wasn't good. So I should be slightly off pace by dint of running up on the curb like I did. Let's see where we're at. 0.3. That's exactly what I wanted. Or what I was expecting, rather. Love this left-hander into the right-hander here. Slightly up on time. Not really happy with the lap, but I am slightly up, so who am I to complain, I suppose? Results are results. Another brilliant car. I love driving this thing despite my shifting issues. So I will go one more lap. Come on, let's go, let's go. Where are we at for time? Down, but I can make it up. Come on, Mike. Push, push, push. Caught fourth there for a second when I was trying to grab second. This one, not feeling good. I don't think I will end on a personal best. But it might be close. Come on, Mike. Oh, so close. Let's go again. I am absolutely loving this pack, by the way. I know I've complained most of the time about my shifting and about understeer, but I'm actually having, you know, one of the best times I've ever had in this title. cars, I think, are fantastic. I think they've done a really great job. Come on, Mike, let's go, let's go. This one feels right. I think I might have this lap. Oh, locked up. Saw that front left lock. And now the understeer, the dreaded understeer has come back. There we go. 130.230. I like this car way more than I thought I would. I thought I would be all about the MP4 and MP46, but this 5B, really impressive. On to the next. And finally, the legendary MP46. Senna's third Drivers' Championship would come in this car, and sadly it would be his last. The MP46 ran in 1991, and it would be yet another showcase of how good Senna was. Technology was rapidly advancing in auto racing, and McLaren's trusty formula was nearing the end of its relevance. Semi-automatic transmissions were appearing in F1 and obviously held a technical advantage over those cars like this MP46 still using an H-pattern manual, but Senna's genius was on display again, and his championship in this car would be the last ever in F1 for a manual transmission, and also the last for a V12 engine. Its looks remain pleasing even 30 years later, and the experience of driving one of the last analog F1 cars is something not to be missed. So for one last time, let's get out on track. So, MP46 here at Interlagos. And yes, it's a very modern looking Interlagos. Ignore that and just savor this car. I've done some installation laps, and I have to admit, I'm in love. This is everything I had hoped it would be. It is precise. It is loud. It is beautiful. It is historic. Everything you would want this car to be, it is. And what a pleasure it is to drive it. We're here at Interlagos with Senna looking on. If you look at the center of your screen, top center of your screen, you can see that painting or mural of Senna looking on, looking over the, I guess you would call it, infield section of Interlagos here. And that legend lives on. This is the Brazilian Legends DLC. But let's face it, there was one Brazilian legend they had in mind specifically when they created this. Yeah, they put a couple of more cars in, but with these 4 Ayrton Senna driven cars, we know what they were trying to honor, and they did a great job. So let's go here. We are ready to start. And you'll see Senna off to my left in a second here. For a few fleeting seconds just before we cross the start-finish line. Whoops, little understeer, pushing a little too hard too early here. I have done my installation laps and potential for a 119, but still stuck in the 120s. Haven't put the complete lap together yet. But yeah, this one, by comparison, feels very stuck in, much less understeery. Much more precise. But not a bit boring, by the way. You come in too hot into a corner, you are going to miss that apex. see what we did for lap time here. I have no idea how many laps I'm going to run. Just really enjoying life in the MP4 6. Last one in the 120s. So I know I can break that 120 mark, get into the 119s. Need to keep it clean though. Woo! Just a slight hint of understeer there, nothing serious. And everything about this car is awesome. If you're a fan of vintage F1 and own Automobilista 2, definitely get this DLC. Do not think twice. High recommendation. The further you go back in Ayrton Senna's career, the braver you'll have to be in terms of your driving style. But you'll find a car that works for you, I'm sure. And if you're starting out, if you're new to F1, not that used to it, I would recommend this MP4 6. If you consider yourself sort of my skill level or below, definitely start out with this MP4 6. It's the most tame of them, of the lot. But again, so much history here. And it's definitely not boring. So there's about a million reasons why you'd want to drive this car. Not least the sound. That V12 rather, I almost said F12. Such a great sound. I think we're going to be into the 119s, folks. There we go, 119. 612, so I smoked my target. It's great. It's the kind of car, though, that inspires you to be faster. It's really rewarding at the limit. And of course, with the Great One looking on, watching over, it's, yeah. Also inspiring to be faster. Tremendous tribute. Tremendous legend. So great that we get to have it officially. A few of Senna's cars have appeared in sim racing before. Of course, we have the 98T and the Assetto Corsa. And then if you won't get into a sim versus game debate, but when F1 games used to have classic cars in them, we had a few of these cars. They didn't drive like this, though. There was never that sense of reward. Woo! Whoa! Oh, don't ask me how I saved that one. So yeah, I'm just unbelievably happy to have this DLC pack, guys. As I said in the beginning of the video, Senna is my all-time favorite driver. And yeah, Automobilista 2, one of my favorite sims. And to have this pack in this sim means a lot to me, and I hope to drive a lot more of this in the future. Alright, if this turns out to be a personal best, I think I will wrap this video up. But thank you so much for watching. Whether you watched some of it or all of it. And thank you to Reza Studios for giving us this amazing pack of cars and honoring the legend. Alright, thank you again for watching, and Brazilian Legends DLC is available now.